First a boba sip. Woo! Now, intro. Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over the things that I've included on my 2023 Bookish bingo card. This is one of my last New Year's videos. I promise that I will move on from doing New Year's content after this video. I put together a Bookish bingo card for myself this year. Since I'm not doing my normal Bookish goals or Bookish resolutions for the year of 2023, I decided that this would be a fun thing to do. Essentially, I've filled my Bookish bingo card with predictions that I have for my own reading life. I thought this would be a fun thing to replace my goals because they're not really goals, they're just predictions that I have for myself and the things that I'm gonna do that are kind of bookish this year, or things that I hope I get to. I'm planning to print out the Bookish bingo card that I made and hang it up somewhere just so I can keep track of things. And I think I'll end up doing a follow-up video at the end of this year just to see all the things that I was able to predict that I would do this year. I just thought this would be a fun thing to do, and if any of you guys end up doing this as well, be sure to send me what your Bookish bingo cards look like for this year. Let's go over everything that I've included on mine. Number one, I'm gonna start a reading journal and I'll stick to it. I've started a reading journal this year, albeit it's a little bit different from the ones I've done in the past. It has less of a structure to it and is more of like a creative reading journal. I would love to do like an end of year reading journal tour if I end up actually sticking to it, but knowing my track record, my unfortunate track record, my very, very sad track record, I just don't stick to things like this. Like, I do not. It's never something I'm able to commit to because I'm annoying. Next up, I'm gonna keep up with my Goodreads. I have reignited my love for Goodreads this year. Mind you, we're what, only like a week into the new year? But last year I logged every book I read within the year of 2022, like the last few weeks of 2022. And in that process, it made me realize how fun it is. Like, I love logging books. There's something so satisfying about it. I should honestly be a librarian. Here's to a career change. I just find it ridiculously fun. It's honestly probably kind of sad how fun I find it, but it's just so fun. Like, why is it so entertaining to me to sit on my little computer and tap away and add different books to my reading log? I don't know, but I love it. It makes me so happy. I've started using the star rating system again, which is a big step for me. I was against it there for a little while. It's still a rough and stupid rating system. Like, my 3-star is different from somebody else's 3-star, so they'll look at my 3-star and think I viewed it and what their perspective of a 3-star is, but their 3-star rating is probably entirely different from my 3-star rating. It just really bothers me. It still bothers me. I'm sticking to the star rating system, guys. I'll get in the middle of a book I'm really enjoying and set it aside and not come back to it. I am the king of this. Put a crown on my head, baby. I love starting books and then just being like, I'm gonna set this aside and I'll get back to you at some point. It just happens way too often with me. Here's the thing that bothers me about this is that I will be loving a book. I'll be like, oh, this is so fun. Rainbows, unicorns, butterflies, all of it. Yes. And then I'll slam it close, set it aside, and my mood will change, and I will never come back to that sad book. It will sit there on my nightstand collecting dust. It's so sad. It makes me very sad thinking about it, but that's how it be. I'll reread an old favorite book. This is something that I don't often prioritize, but I do love coming back to books and rereading them. I feel like, especially as an anxious person, it's such a nice thing to do because you just feel the comfort of something familiar, something that you love. It's like a nice little warm hug, and I love a nice little warm hug. I should reread more books, but I don't. Will I prioritize rereading favorite books? I don't know. I hope I hit it on my bingo card. We'll see. I'll have to awkwardly decline a buddy read. I have friends who constantly ask me to buddy read books, and the people pleaser part of me always wants to be like, yes, let's do it. I'm down. Let's go. But the part of me deep down is like, buddy reading never works out for me. It just never does. It never works for me. Either the person I'm reading with finishes the book way before me, or I finish the book before they do, or I'm put in this situation where I'm the only one in the buddy read who is not enjoying the book. I once read a book alongside 3 other people, and I was the only one who did not like the book. Do you know how isolating of an experience that was to have to sit there and hear their thoughts being like, this book is amazing, this book is everything, and then have to be the book bummer and be like, I hate everything. It sucks. It's not fun. Do not recommend being that person. I'll read more books than I buy this year. I actually really want this one to happen. It's like a low-key goal. Even though I'm not setting goals this year, I would like for this one to happen. I actually cleaned my shelves leading up to 2023 and got rid of over 200 books. I didn't want to do an unhaul video or anything because sometimes I feel pressure to like keep certain books even though I shouldn't feel pressure. I just went wild and got rid of tons of books, whether it was books that I've read or books that I haven't read. I got rid of a lot. I have been longing for a while now just to get back to this place in my reading life where I can just go to a bookstore, pick up a book, take that book home, read it, and then repeat that process. It's not that I don't love owning a lot of books because, hello, I still have a lot, even though I got rid of over 200. My babies genuinely bring me joy. But I've realized the longer I let a book sit unread, the harder it is for me to push myself to actually read it. And this is a mixture of, yes, my mood reader side, but also also a loss of interest. I feel like I'm constantly evolving, and because of that, sometimes the books I've picked up 2-3 years ago just don't align with who I am now. With all that being said, I just want to make a conscious effort on how I'm buying books. And it's honestly going to become hard for me because I am a monster when it comes to book buying. If I want a book, I'll buy it. If I'm having a bad day, I'll go book shopping. And I know that's awful. This is me calling me out in front of you all. I am laying down... What am I laying down? I am laying down my problem. I am a problem. This is me admitting it. I'll use a receipt instead of an actual bookmark. Imagine having all of these beautiful bookmarks and turning around and using this. I don't have to imagine because I do it a lot. Caught red-handed. I'll drink coffee while I read a book. This is pretty much a free space on the board because when am I not holding a book in one hand and a coffee in the other? That is always how I'm reading. The two are a pair that I'll never be able to split up. I'll get turned off of a book because of an author on social media. Oh, I don't know if this happens to anyone else, but I'll be excited about a book by an author and I'll follow that author on social media, but then I'll get the ick for something they do or say and it'll make me not want to read their book. Moving on. Oh, I'll keep reading a book even though I know I should DNF it. I feel like I don't know how to DNF a book anymore, and yet I technically do it all the time when I set books aside. So if I do DNF a book, it's on accident, but I can never like force myself to do it. Like if I'm reading a book and it's really bad, I just can't push myself to DNF it. I hate it so much because why is that happening? And yet I'm enjoying a book and I'll set it aside and like accidentally DNF it. Like, where's the science there? I don't like that. No. Bad. Sad. Bad. Sad. I will complete a book series this year. It's gonna happen, okay? I'm not even gonna talk about why this one could not happen, because that joke honestly needs to be retired, but if you know, you know. If you've been here, you know. But I think because one of my anti-goals was to stop worrying about series, that like, maybe it'll happen. I just feel it. I've got the feeling. I'll annotate a book I end up not liking. Have you ever had that good feeling going into a book? You're like, I'm gonna love this book. I just know it. And you're like, you know what? Pen, highlighter, tabs, let's go. And then you get into the thick of it after having marked the heck out of it and realize that you're really hating it. It's me. It happens to me more than I'm willing to admit it. So I'm predicting it'll happen this year. Free space equals read a book. I've already read a book, so I've got that free space, baby. Hey! Support my local indie bookstores more. I feel like because I'm being more intentional about buying books and how I'm buying books and when I'm buying books, that supporting my local indie bookstore is just like the natural way to go about it. And I genuinely love, like L-O-V-E, chef's kiss, love my local indie bookstores. They're amazing. Every time I go in there, I just feel so cozy and warm and just surrounded by book love. So I definitely want to support my indie bookstores in town more this year. Fantasy era. Read at least 10 fantasy books. My hunger for fantasy books has begun again. And it makes me so excited. Like, I want to like stop filming right now and just like go dive deep into a fantasy book. I'm not going to do that, but that's my eagerness right now. I want to read one so bad. I'm very excited. It's been a long time since I've like actually been excited about reading fantasy. And I don't know what shifted in my taste over the past few years, but I'm back, baby. Fantasy, fantasy, fantasy. I'm annoying. I'm annoying. Get back to graphic novels and mangas. I've also become very hungry for graphic novels and manga again, so I'm definitely going to be delving back into that. I read a few graphic novels last year that just reminded me why I love graphic novels so much, and it got me excited to fall back into that world. I'll listen to an audiobook as I read the physical book. This is the best way to read anything, hands down. My hands are up. Hands down, talk about the most immersive way to experience a book. Listen to the audiobook while you read the physical book. Magic. I'll go to a book event. Author signing, book conference, library event. I need it. Give me the bookish goodness. I'll go to one of my library book sales. My library has a huge book sale like 2 times a year and I feel like I always miss it. But I'm gonna mark my calendar. I'm gonna go this year. It's gonna happen. Stamp the books I love. I put this on here to remind myself to use my personalized stamp. I have this from the Library of Jesse the Reader stamp that I stamp on books that I love, books that I've given 5 out of 5 stars. Gotta be a 5-star read to receive the stamp because anything below that does not cut it. But I always forget to use it. I feel like I should probably just like put it on my nightstand so that I see it every day and remember to use it. Not that I have 5-star reads that often these days, but it's gonna be my 5-star reading year. I sense it. I feel it. I sure am predicting a lot of things today. Buy a special edition of a book. It'll happen, especially if V.E. Schwab is releasing a book this year. Cha-ching, cha-ching. I'll read a book involving death. These are ridiculous. Is this one a cop-out? Yes, but you could say that about all the spaces on this list so far. I know I'll end up reading a book that has an element of death in some way, depicting death, has a death element, just something with death involved, because I am a death reader. I'm a death reader. Whoa. I love reading books about death. That does not sound any better. You know if you've been here. I'm done. Moving on. I'll read a classic book. I'll never be a consistent classic boy. That is very apparent by the books on my shelves. But I'll read one once in a blue moon, and I feel like I'm gonna have a blue moon this year, and I'm gonna end up reading one. So buckle up, let's go! Read a book based off of someone's recommendation. I feel like this happens a couple times a year. I'll see somebody reading a book, I'll want to read that book as well because it intrigues me, so I'm sure this one will happen. I probably will get recommended a book by you guys at some point, and I'll read it, and I will love it, I'm sure, because you guys always have the best recommendations, and a space for you guys to choose. Finger guns, finger guns. In my last bingo slot, I want you guys to choose what you think this prediction should be. So the most liked comment will be the one that I put in the last space. So drop some comments down below of things that you think I'll do this year in terms of my reading life, and the one with the most liked comments I will put on that space. Honestly, this makes me really excited. I'm really looking forward to seeing how many of these I actually end up getting to. Obviously, I'm not putting pressure on this. This is just predictions for what I think is going to happen this year. These are in no way goals or resolutions for me this year, just things that I think will happen naturally and I will be able to mark them off. I'll be sure to do a follow-up video at the end of the year to show how many spaces I filled up on my bingo card. And if any of you guys end up making your own bingo card, be sure to send me pictures of it on social media because I want to see it. If you guys like this video, be sure to go and hit that like button. If you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and hit that bell icon and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your day is bright, that tomorrow is brighter. Keep reading what your heart desires, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, yo! And here's the thing that bothers me the most about this one is that, like, well, I'm gonna spit it out. What the frick? Okay. Here's the oh, voice crack. Oh. Fragile, fragile.